YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we loaded up Madden 26, hopped in the franchise, and this one's a little different. We're going to do a rebuild today, but we're using the 2012 rosters from Madden. So as you'll notice, you see a lot of these old players from the early 2010s, you know, Greg Jennings, Steve Smith Sr., Maurice Jones-Drew, Victor Cruz, you know, a bunch of the greats from the early 2010s. Yeah, someone installed this roster in the game, and I just downloaded it, and I thought it would be fun to rebuild a team using these rosters. And going over the teams, I decided to use the Houston Texans as the team to do this fantasy draft rebuild. We're only doing it for 1 year, so let's go ahead, choose them, and get this fantasy draft started. Okay, so we ended up with the 22nd overall pick in this draft. Let's go ahead and go to the quarterbacks and see who. Oh, I accidentally switch up. All right, quarterbacks. Yeah, a bunch of the old gunslingers, you know, Michael Vick, Peyton Manning, Jay Cutler, Tony Romo's a great pull. Kurt Warner, Josh Freeman. Ooh, Josh Freeman, that's a pull right there. Yeah, Josh Freeman being the Buccaneers quarterback before Jameis Winston seems like a fever dream, but yeah, no, shout out to whoever put these rosters in this game. It's pretty cool to see. I love when creators or just fans of the game do things like this to make the game just a little bit more fun for the users, you know, because EA devs, they could give us all these historic teams, like kind of how 2K has it set up where you can play with teams from like Steph's era, LeBron era, Kobe era, Magic, Bird, Jordan, whatever. You know, that'll be cool if Madden implements that over the next couple years, because I know the people are dying for it. Me as a Madden player, I'm dying to use the 2010, 2011 Eagles team with Nick Foles and Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson. Like, I would love that. I would love nothing more than that. But yeah, I go ahead and simulate it through the draft because I just wanted this element of surprise for the first time doing a rebuild. So let's go ahead, skip, and see who we got. All right, checking out our roster. Looks like Carson Palmer's our quarterback. Eddie Bengals legend. And then we got David Garrard as our backup. Yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah, he's Jaguars. I wouldn't call him a legend, but Jaguars quarterback. Jonathan Stewart's our starting running back. We have Antonio Brown, Mario Manningham. Those are the only two receivers I remember. Jurgens, the name sounds familiar. Jacob Tame. O-lines and no one notable. All right, who else we got? Glenn Dorsey. Ooh. Yeah, Glenn Dorsey was a force playing in Kansas City. I remember that guy. He used to be great. Kyle Van Bosch. I remember that name. Richard Seymour. The legend. Richard Seymour played for the Patriots. I remember him. Navarro Bowman. Oh, this one, he was a 1 year. Oh, yeah. It's great pull. I love that. Brian Arakpo. This guy was a beast. I remember him playing for the Redskins, going up against my Eagles twice a year. I used to hate that guy. Cornerbacks aren't looking too strong. Antoine Bethea, Colts legend. Matt Prater, pretty solid kicker. All right, checking out free agency here. Let's see who we got. Ricky Williams. Oh, that's a notable name. Marshall Faulk is still on here. 38-year-old Marshall Faulk. It's insane. See who else is up here. Larry Johnson. Rashard Jennings. Chad Ochocinco. Other noticeable names: Joey Galloway, Hines Ward, Greg Lewis. I remember him. Amari Toomer. I remember that guy. Terrell. Did I scroll past it? Yeah, Terrell Owens. That was Terrell Owens. Yeah, T.O. Oh my God. Yeah, that's crazy. 67 overall is insane. Like, yeah, this had to be around the time when he was still signing to like the Bengals. Not the Bengals. Oh yeah, he did sign with the Bengals towards the end of his career, and the Bills, and I believe the Seahawks as well. So 67 overall is not too crazy. And I have no idea who this guy is, but I definitely gave him some consideration signing him to the roster because our O-line is not that strong. But I digress. We're just gonna let it rock out. See how it goes. Damian Woody. Shout out him. I thought he was a defensive tackle. I didn't even know he played O-line. Yeah, we went with the right tackle, Jeremy Trueblood. We just needed to upgrade our O-line a little bit. But yeah, let me go ahead and readjust our depth chart before we move forward. I think we're going to just reorder it, and then we're going to go ahead and skip to the regular season. We're still in the preseason, and now we're just going in and making sure everyone's starting properly on our O-line, you know. Everything's looking good. Davis, cool. All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and skip to the regular season. Okay, first game of the season, we have the Los Angeles Rams. All right, let's go ahead and check out their roster. Okay, they have Matt Moore as their starting quarterback, Ray Rice as their running back, Robert Meacham's the only receiver I recognize, Dustin Keller, J.J. Watt on the D line as a rookie. Ooh, that's nasty. J.J. Watt is a rookie. He was a rookie in 2012, 2011. Paul Polonsky, I remember that guy. Bart Scott, Richard Sherman. They have a pretty solid team here in Los Angeles. You know, but we're up for the competition, so let's go ahead and get this game started. See how it goes.
We're coming to you live from the NFL's newest and the world's most expensive stadium, state-of-the-art SoFi here at Inglewood, California. Coming off a contest that looks real good on paper between the Houston Texans and the Los Angeles Rams.
All right, first play of the game. We're out in the field. We're going to start it off with a handoff here, right up the middle to Jonathan Stewart. You know, he was a force in Carolina. Let's see if he can get some yards here. 3-yard gain. Nothing crazy. 3rd and 7 here. Throw a dot to our tight end, Team, whatever his name is. 1st-yard gain. And I'm not going to lie, playing with Carson Palmer felt good. You know, we were making plays, driving downfield, hitting our receivers. You know, only thing is the speed. We didn't have the speed. So, you know, it plays like that where we had to throw it away. Yeah, we ended that drive with a field goal. There was no stopping Matt Moore and the Rams here. They just drove downfield and scored with ease. Like, it was nothing. So we're back at him. You know, Carson Palmer couldn't take that. Throwing dots to Antonio Brown with that 94 speed. He's been cutting up all day for us here. Okay, 1st and 10 here. We're in the midfield. You all see what's going on. I'm going for a pass. And we decided to hit Antonio Brown down the field. Cool little 25, 30-yard gain. Next play on the drive, we hand it off to Jonathan Stewart here. And he goes all the way from the 15 to the 1-yard line. Now it's 1st and goal at the 1. We decided to try to hand it off again to Jonathan Stewart, but we get stuffed on the goal line here. I wasn't about to let that stop me, so we just lined up 5 wide, and Jonathan Stewart's wide open over there, so we hit him for an easy touchdown. I was just playing all the key moments in the game, so that's why we're skipping through. I'm not going to play the whole duration of the game, but we're going to hop in every key moment. All right, the Rams come out here 1st and goal on the 6-yard line. Let's see what they do. They hand it off to their running back, Mike Tolbert. I remember that guy. Chargers guy. Used to cause havoc out there in San Diego with Darren Sproles back in the day. All right, 2nd and goal here. Let's see what they do. Looks like they're going for a pass, and they actually get it to Dustin Keller. All right, so now we're heading into the 4th quarter, down 14-10. Let's see what we can cook up here. Okay, so it's 3rd and 8 now on the 27th. We're driving down the field. This is a crazy moment to jump in at. But let's see if we get the first. And it's an easy 1st down. Jonathan Stewart's wide open. I don't know how he slipped under that coverage like that. Nobody in the middle. Time to take it over and finish the drive and actually put 7 on the board here. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's just take the check down. Easy first. What? Bruh. 2nd and 1. So now it's 2nd and 1 on the 7-yard line. See if this little fake jet sweep run with Jonathan Stewart gets it in, and 2-yard gain. Nah, I'm not gonna lie. All these moments I've pretty much been using only Jonathan Stewart. Like, he's like my premier player. So it is, but it is what it is. And we hit number 17. I have no idea who this is, but we got the 7 points, so that's all that matters. Jumping back in here, let's see what we can do. 1st and 10 on the 20. So we're up by 3 now, 3 minutes left in the game. It's just about running the clock now. Hit him with a fullback dive. Keep the chains moving. And my team's clearly in the driver's seat here. We just need to try to score to put this game away for good. 1 minute left. Up 17-3 against the Rams here, first game of the season. Let's see if we can score. Mario Manahan on the slant and easy touchdown. This game is over. Great first win for Carson Palmer and the Houston Texans here. Palmer ended the game 7 for 29, 250, 249, 3 touchdowns. Solid game. Solid game. Stewart, 14 for 67, no touchdowns. Longest carry, 19 yards. 2 broken tackles, looking good. Antonio Brown made a little noise, 4 for 75, no touchdown. Yeah, nobody really stood out this game. Nobody performed too crazy. It was a standard game. We handled business, and we walked out with a dub. At week 8, we were sitting at 4-2, but I'm going to go ahead and skip to the playoffs. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we made it to the wild card round. We're sitting at 10-7, and our first matchup of the playoffs is against the Tennessee Titans, our division rival. Yeah, this is what the playoff seeding is looking like. Guys, go ahead, check it out. Okay, so here's another look at the playoff bracket. The Las Vegas Raiders end up securing the number 1 seed in the AFC, getting that bye, and the number 1 seed in the NFC is secured by the Dallas Cowboys. Carson Palmer finished the year 25-7 with 60% completion percentage. No receiver hit 1,000 yards. That's crazy. Antonio Brown in his sophomore year, 65 catches, 825 yards, 5 touchdowns. It's a pretty solid year. All right, so here's the matchup breakdown for our Houston Texans. They're going up against a Tennessee Titans offense who's 4th in scoring, and they're also number 1 in allowing the fewest points. So, yeah, it's going to be a great game, great test to see if we belong here in the playoffs and to see if we will win a Super Bowl this year. Let's skip this game and see what happens. And the Houston Texans get it done. Let's go, baby. Moving on to the divisional round now. We're going up against the number 1 seed Raiders here. They're second in fewest points allowed on defense. They are being led by Drew Brees, Chris Johnson, and Von Miller. Holy. Now, before our game starts, I'm just checking out the roster, and I ultimately decided that I needed to sign a tight end, just to give us some more depth at the position, And getting on free agency, I quickly realized I'm not interested in any of the tight ends that they have up here. But I go back to receiver list and I see a bunch of stars: Chad Ochocinco, TJ Hushmanzada, Joey Galloway. Okay, so here's my thought process. If I'm going to sign a wide receiver and make them a tight end, I need to see who has the best run blocking. That way I know they can do both run routes and actually block for my running backs and quarterback. All right, let's find out who's our guy. And, Hines Ward, 70 run block. Oh my God. Sitting here on free agency at 70 overall, 36 years of age, with a 83 speed and a 70 run block. Yeah, we're going to make him our tight end. We're changing his position today. Go ahead, go over to our roster. Hines Ward, edit player. All right, let's go ahead and switch him over to a tight end, save changes. And just like that, we have a 75 overall tight end. He's actually better than our starting tight end. So let's go ahead and get the game started and see if our team can prevail. Hopping straight into the gameplay here. I just jumped in the game to throw 2 passes to Hines Ward. I wanted to see him in action. So that's the first pass right here, 30-yard gain. Second play, it was like a 15-yard play. He was doing pretty good. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and sim the rest of the game and see if our team can pull this one out. And the Texans do walk away with a dub. They clutched it late game, fourth quarter, ended up walking away with a 17-14 victory in the division round. That means we're going to the conference championship. And conference championship week, we're going up against the Buffalo Bills. We're just going to go ahead and skip through this one. Well, let's check out the Bills roster first. Ooh, 99, Jake Long. I remember that guy. Tim Tebow's their starting quarterback. DeMarco Murray, Eddie Royal, I don't know who Denarius Moore is. I never really remember. Aaron Hernandez. Oh my God. Jason Pierre-Paul, Sean Phillips, Champ Bailey. Oh yeah, Asante. Yeah, they had a pretty solid team here. Okay, let's go ahead and skip this game and see if we make it to the Super Bowl. And Carson Palmer and the Texans get it done. We won the game, rushed for over 100 yards against them. And now we're heading to the Super Bowl. And our opponent is the Green Bay Packers. Oh, they have Terrell Suggs and the Ndamukong Suh. Jesus. Let's take a look at this Packers roster before we started. Josh Freeman, of course, 90 overall. Reggie Bush, Pierre Thomas, Miles Austin, Brandon LaFell, Mercedes Lewis. Yeah, they're a pretty solid team here. Mike Pouncey is the center. A lot of familiar names here. Justin Smith, Terrell Suggs, Prince Amukamara. I remember that guy. Rondé Barber, Leon Hall. Yeah, they had a pretty solid team here. But will they beat the Texans in the Super Bowl? Let's find out.
After a long two-week build-up here in the Bay Area, the moment has finally arrived. It is time for football here at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Folks, this is Super Bowl 60, and we've got an outstanding matchup on tap. Tonight, it is all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Houston Texans taking on the NFC champions, the Green Bay Packers. Running going along with Charles Davis, and what a season it's been for our AFC champions. And this was a fight just to get to the Super Bowl. You got to figure that they are very battle-tested and ready.
I'd agree with you 100% about that. You don't get there without having those types of attributes, and that's what you look for in a Super Bowl team. Character, confidence. These guys are now they're here. Now they're ready to win.
Meanwhile, our NFC champions, they have gone through a lot to get where they are. Everybody knows their story.
Okay, and same thing with the last game. We're going to simulate straight through the quarter, see what happens. In the first quarter, they're up 3-0. Okay, let's go ahead and skip another quarter. And okay, they're up 17-0. Okay, we got to do something here. Let's hop in and see if we can make a couple plays. Okay, out here, first play on offense. What do? We hit our tight end Tammy, and he's out of there. He burns his matchup. Oh my God. Takes it all the way for a touchdown. Like a 60-yard touchdown. And I kicked the extra point attempt just to secure the 7 points. All right, I didn't really want to interfere with the team's success, so I just decided I'm going to go ahead and skip the rest of the game. And if they lose, they lose. If they come back, it's whatever. And they ended up losing to the Packers 23-7. Josh Freeman and Reggie Bush and them boys, they handled business. But if you all enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more franchise rebuilds for not only Madden, but college football and 2K as well.